The 3DS is a lifestyle-oriented system with its ability to play music, take notes, record videos, and more. Beyond just playing games, the developers incentivize keeping the system powered on and with owners throughout the day to exchange and record data. Owners could experience each day as something new with data to look back on. Street Pass would exchange game information with other 3DS owners, Spot Pass would download content from Nintendo's own hotspots or home internet, and Play Coins promoted exercise to give currency in certain games. If you own a 3DS system and aren't bringing it around with you, you'd miss out on these extra benefits. In sleep mode, the system uses its accelerometer to act as a pedometer, tracking the amount of steps that you take. For every 100 steps, a Play Coin is awarded. Games would use Play Coins as a currency to unlock collectibles, reveal hints, hire assistants, and more. On the home menu, you can see how many Play Coins you have and the amount of steps you've taken for the day. If you open up the activity log, you can find a more detailed record of your steps, along with information on your games. Similar to the Wii message board, you can see a running list of games you played for the day and how long you spent on them. With a flick of a toggle, you can swap over to a graph view with a more detailed timeline of when you were most active playing games, or when you were physically active walking around. Activity can be filtered into daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly views. Daily provides the most detailed information since it divides activity hour by hour. There's also a software library, showing icons of games that you've played, along with different statistics that you can filter through, such as average playtime, when you first played the game, and more. In a way, this is almost a digitized version of my collection. Even though my cartridge games don't remain on the home menu after I take the game out, their icon, title, and other metadata are saved to the system and logged in the software library. Some games I had borrowed from friends to play on my system, but the record and icon still remains. My library is getting fairly close to the end of the book, so it might not be a bad idea to clean up my collection. Thankfully, I can easily remove a game's icon with the trash can button. Although you can't make your own notes, I see activity log being similar to a diary, recording whatever you had done for the day. Since it's all automated, the data will be ready for you to reflect on at your own leisure. Tracking steps and setting personal goals while also gaining some video game currency doesn't sound like a terrible idea. It's either that or become a gremlin gamer with over 100 hours on Triforce Heroes. I've been playing my 3DS for many years. It's nice to have one spot to log all my history with the system. Filtering through my software library, I can get an idea as to how my collection was built and when I got certain games. Daily records can summarize what my most played game was for the month or see how many steps I took during the year. Except... Where did my steps go? To 2013, 2014? Okay, the data's gone. I know for a fact that I brought my 3DS around with me for those years. If I switch over to playtime data, that's still there. Everything before this red line is missing. When I switch to playtime, the line is in a different spot. It hasn't affected anything with my games. Well, what's going on? The most logical explanation is that I've been using my 3DS so much that it doesn't have enough space for my old stuff anymore. And that's exactly the answer. Digging through the e-manual, it's written out plain as day on page 2. Approximately 10 years of step and playtime data can be saved depending on use conditions. When capacity is reached, records will be erased starting with the oldest. That's a shame. But it makes sense. 10 years is a very long span of time, and the fact that the system has been keeping track of it so much is good enough. For every hour of every day, the 3DS makes note of how many steps you took and what software was played. This happens 24 times per day. That's 168 entries per week, 744 per month, and 8,760 entries per year. That's quite a bit of data. What I'm most curious about is why there's a distinction between where the red line appears for step data and playtime. there's a several-year advantage that playtime data has where nothing has been erased, with it spanning more than 10 years. Why is there a discrepancy? Shouldn't the data be distributed equally? Doing a bit of research, I found out how activity log data is stored. There are 3 files. Play history, which contains data for every event taken with software. Opening, closing, suspending, all accompanied with a timestamp down to the second. Pedometer, which has data for steps. Each entry in the file has the amount taken, alongside a timestamp recorded in hourly chunks. Finally, there's the actual save file for the activity log application, PLD. This contains flags for when you first read the welcome screen, see new software populate the software library, as well as a completed graph of data imported from the play history file, and extra details for software library. Think of it as a final result after everything is calculated and squished down into hourly chunks. This makes the data faster and easier to parse. Interestingly, step data is not included in PLD, rather it's read directly from the pedometer file. Based on the file size alone, you can tell that the pedometer isn't granted as much space as the games are. These file sizes are static, they never increase or decrease in size. When a 3DS system is set up for the very first time, these files are initialized with these exact amounts of space allocated to them. Think about a cup of water. A cup can only hold so much water before it starts to overflow. If you had a bigger cup, you could hold even more water. The pedometer has a small 180 kilobyte cup, while play history gets one almost 5 times the size. Play history has more complex entries. It needs to identify all the different states of use, the title ID of the application, as well as the exact time. This is much more than the pedometer's step number and hourly timestamp. In fact, it seems to have so much extra room that my playtime hasn't been overwritten in activity log save data. As per the manual, the activity log can hold up to 256 applications in the software library. If this number is exceeded, records will be deleted, starting with the ones with the shortest playtime. I'm getting close to that limit, but I haven't hit it yet. Even still, there isn't really a way to prevent the red line from consuming my data, other than to stop using my 3DS entirely. Sure, I can make backups of these files and preserve them, but in normal use, the older data is going to be deleted. It's not as if I could extend the length of the file and tell the 3DS to keep adding to it. The red line is still there, giving a fair warning about consuming my oldest data. Even though I've lost a few years of my 3DS's pedometer activity, that's okay. We can't hold on to every memory, every digital footprint we leave behind. Although it would have been nice to see what days I was most active with the system in 2012, like going to the fair or a museum, there will be plenty of new memories I can make. I was able to reminisce on my logs here and now, and that's good enough for me. It's better not to sulk on what was lost when there's more times to enjoy. While I like to preserve a lot of data and records, it's okay to let go and walk away from the past.